Hey everybody, just want to talk to you a little bit today about food therapy and what that is. So the biggest hurdle I think that I run into with food therapy is that my certification in food therapy does not make me a veterinary nutritionist. So if you would like to formulate a diet and you would like to cook completely for your pet, I cannot come up with those diets for you because I'm not a veterinary nutritionist. They went to school for several years and sat for a board exam and got certified as a veterinary nutritionist. There are universities that I like to use. So the University of Tennessee has a nutrition department, as well as the Ohio State University Veterinary College. They both have nutrition departments that work very closely with you and can formulate a home cooked diet for your pet that is not only safe, but is also balanced. It is very critical to make sure that you have the correct vitamins and minerals in your home cooked diet to make sure that your pet does not end up with issues down the road. So what is food therapy? That is where I like to take fresh foods and incorporate them in what you're already feeding your pet. So for example, I look at foods not only for their freshness, but I always also look at them in terms of their temperature, and I also look at them in terms of what they can do for the body. So an example is, think of a nice hot summer day and how cooling and how refreshing watermelon can taste. And that's because watermelon is inherently a cooling food. But if you think of wasabi or you think of jalapenos, obviously they're a little bit more hot. So you want to put those in your chili on a really cold winter day where maybe it's raining and snowing, and so you want to eat that really warm soup with those warm ingredients in order to feel warm from the inside out. And I like to use foods in that manner with my patients. So if I have a patient that cannot step outside if it's above 75 degrees because they're just so hot, then I may recommend to add some really cooling foods to their diet to help cool them down a little bit more. Or on the other side, if I have patients that are extremely cold in the winter and they have a lot of arthritis that really flares up in the winter, then I may have the owner add some really warming foods to their diet in the wintertime in order to help combat some of that stiffness and that just where they get so cold into their bones and they can't warm back up again. Another example is energetics and what they do. So, for example, one of the things that I like to think of is beef for dogs and cats that are anemic. So beef has a lot of iron in it. It has a lot of blood nourishing tendencies to it in the Chinese world. And so if I have a patient that has anemia for a multitude of reasons, as long as there's no other contraindications for them, I will add beef to their diet. Now, I very rarely will have clients add raw protein to their dog or cat's food. And the reason for this is public health concern. The raw meat specifically, can carry salmonella, it can carry E. coli, it can carry listeria. And these are all not only can be unsafe for your pet, but can be unsafe for your family as well. So what I like to do is slowly cook that protein over a long period of time at a low temperature. And that way it really maintains the majority of its energetics and maintains the majority of its temperature properties, but then it's also safe to handle and feed to your pet. So I do this a lot for my clients that are coming in, or my patients that are coming in for other issues. I may have you add just one or two things to their diet. And once you start adding those in, I find that a lot of people really do enjoy cooking a little bit for their dogs. Some people really enjoy cooking and making a balanced diet for their dogs, and that is wonderful. But in this lifetime, with most of us being super busy, the best that we can do is just add a little bit of fresh foods throughout their meals, without making a full balanced diet. So we're adding a little bit of fresh food to maybe kibble or canned food. And that is what we do here in the clinic. So if you have more interest in this, or if you're curious about what you could add for your dog, give us a call and make an appointment, and I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you about it. Thanks so much.